What's up, y'all? It's your favorite mama bear, Zoe Beth. So in today's video, I decided to tell you a little bit about my labor and delivery story. However, I decided to incorporate another interest I have on this channel, which is beauty. So if you're interested in my story and interested to see how this look came about, stay tuned and watch the rest of the video. So I didn't plan a look for this video, so I decided to call my fiance, and this is what he said. So what look do you want me to do? He said pink because we had a girl, and this is a labor and delivery story time. So he honestly made sense. For one, this look is dedicated to you, boo. Okay, you guys, so right now I might look crazy, but just trust the process. No matter how weird it looks, trust me, okay? You're here for a reason. All right, so this story begins in June. During my pregnancy, I was diagnosed with placental leaks and gestational diabetes. So I was having stress tests once a week and then twice a week. And at my last stress test that Wednesday, they said that I was having contractions that I couldn't feel, and the doctor saw me and saw that I was 1 centimeter. So that Friday, June 12th, I had the urge to nest. So I was putting things together, and around 11 p.m., 12 a.m. at night, I decided that I wanted to put together the bassinet for Layla. DK, my fiance, bless his heart, tried his best to stop me. I was going to tell an emotional 39-week pregnant woman what to do. Not a damn soul. After I was done, I went to bed, and at 4 a.m. June 13th, I was having Braxton Hicks contractions. And I didn't think nothing of it because, again, I was having Braxton Hicks contractions a majority of my pregnancy. And then at 6 a.m., I woke up my fiance because all he can hear was, But after the first one, he was already calling my mom, telling her that I was in labor. He was already on edge, and so he was waiting for that sign that, okay, Zoe's in labor. Because it was a pandemic, and he knew that he had to step up to the plate, because at this time, the hospital was only allowing one person to come with you. He was like, if it happens again, we're going to the hospital. Instead of going to the hospital, when the pain increased, I just called labor and delivery. And basically, they tell me if I need to come in, come in. At this point, I didn't want to go in simply because 2 reasons. It was a pandemic, so they was picky on who they gave a hospital bed to. They didn't want to admit people that really was going to be in labor for like 5 days or 4 days straight. Secondly, I was having a natural birth. So again, there wasn't a reason for me to be there just walking around a room when I can go through most of it in the comfort of my own home, you know? So at this point, around 8 a.m., 9 a.m., the pain gets so bad that I am throwing up. DK at this point is trying to feed me anything he can, from oatmeal to just giving me bottles of water to drink, and I'm throwing everything up. I couldn't keep nothing down. Ended up packing our bags and going to the hospital, and this was like about midday at this time. Okay, so I'm at labor and delivery, and they're waiting to see if they're going to admit me. At this point, they check me, and I am 3 centimeters, and the contractions are increasing. So they admit me, and after about 3 to 4 hours, they realized, and I realized, I wasn't dilating and Layla wasn't dropping. But they send me home like I thought. So we go home that Saturday night. That entire night, I am up in pain. I am in and out the bathtub playing gospel music, trying to encourage myself and doing my breathing techniques that I learned. I'm in the rocker in Layla's nursery with a heating pad, rocking back and forth. And at one point, I had to make DK go to sleep because he didn't want me to go through it by myself. But I told him that I was fine, get him some rest. He couldn't be there for me like I needed him to if he was exhausted, you know? And also, Layla wasn't dropping, and I could feel that she was. Sunday morning, me and DK go on a walk again. Later on in the day, I don't know when exactly, I can't remember, he went and got me an exercise ball so I can bounce on to drop the baby. So labor and delivery was pissing me off the entire time because I kept on calling them like, hey, I'm throwing up. What do I do? Like, can y'all give me some help? And these people gonna tell me, eat candy. How in the hell is candy supposed to keep me nutritioned? And then they also said, make sure that your contractions are 5 minutes apart and getting closer. At this point, I'm timing my contractions and they are irregular. 1 minute, they're 2 minutes apart, then they're 8, then they're 5, then they're 10 minutes apart. However, here's the thing. I would go through a contraction, then it would go down and end, and then I was having medium contractions in between. There was no break in between. At this point, the pain is getting unbearable. It's at a freaking 20, but I'm still breathing, trying my best, and like being reluctant on going to the hospital. But Sunday night, around 9 p.m., we decide, hey, it's time. So I go to the hospital and they check me again and I'm 4 centimeters. However, Layla still hasn't dropped. Don't keep in mind this is a pandemic, so DK is the only one with me, and with the nurse's permission, we decided to walk around the nursing center to help Layla drop. And again, I am in extreme pain. And so we're admitted, and again, nothing was working. I was losing my mucus plug not all at one time, because every time I went to the restroom, it was like more of it would come out and it would be more and more, you know? And my pain is at like a 25 and I'm exhausted. I haven't slept, everything's in pain. And so I tapped out and decided to get pain medication at first. When I tell you I was high, nothing could compare me to the high that I felt. Okay, so if you don't know, I'm into video games, I'm into anime, I'm into a lot of stuff. And so one video game that popped up in my head while I was high was Minecraft. Donnie has all this on footage, but I'm not gonna put it in this YouTube video because I was looking busted. But one thing I remember saying to him is that I need to pee. So I'm hooked up to all the machines and everything else. And he was just like,
okay, let me go get a nurse.
I said, too late. He had nothing but fear in his eyes. He was just like,
The hell you mean too late?
So at this point, he thinking that I peed on myself. I did it. When I closed my eyes, the only thing I saw was Minecraft, a whole Minecraft world. And so I was like, I put it on the shelf. He's like,
What?
I put it on the shelf. He's like,
What shelf?
I said, I peed in a jar and I put it on the shelf. Y'all, this man begins to die laughing. And so at this point, I finally get some rest. I think about an hour or 2 of rest off and on, because whenever you're on a pain medication, you can still feel the contractions, but it's just not that bad because again, you are high as can be. It started to wear off and Layla still wasn't dropping. It's Monday at this point, 3 a.m. and Layla is still like, I'm chilling. I don't want to come out. However, I am dilating, but she just is all the way up there. I was so adamant on having a natural birth, but I was so mentally and physically and spiritually exhausted that I decided to get a epidural. Excuse my foundation. I have been inside for a whole year because of this pandemic. So my color is off, but I'm mixing 2 colors, so hopefully it works out. So I get the epidural after the recommended time I had to wait for the pain medication to leave my system. The person come and the epidural wasn't that bad. It's a little pinch. For me, it was. I didn't look at the needle because I was scared to. They realized that my labor is still taking too damn long. So they decided to induce me as well. Monday around 10. The nurses came in and then they were just like, all right, we're ready to push. And I was like, okay, let's go for it. Let's get her done. My epidural was in effect so much that I couldn't feel when the contractions was there. They had me do several things to engage those muscles, so it was like I was pushing. So for example, I ended up playing tug of war during my delivery. The nurse was in between my legs with a sheet and she had me pull up to activate those muscles. And at one point, she ended up getting a bar attached to my bed and the sheet was over the bar and she was between my legs pulling and I was pulling up. That didn't work. So they dialed down my epidural and I finally started to feel my contractions. And it wasn't to the point that it hurted, but it's just like I knew they were happening. My fiance ended up holding my legs up. He was helping me hold them up and I was basically pulling them back to push. And the nurse went and got a mirror in between my legs so I can have motivation because I was seeing Layla's head. The doctor finally shows up and then I continue to push. So this part, I'm gonna try my best not to get emotional for, okay? Layla comes out and I don't hear crying. The intern was in there because I allowed interns to watch me give birth. Intern, being a rookie, gave her to me, and the nurses took Layla and ran with her to where I couldn't see her. She was born with the umbilical cord wrapped around her neck. My fiance is turning my head to him and like looking at me like, don't look over there. And I just was like, what is wrong with my baby? I see them patting her on the back, and again, there is no crying. During this time, my doctor asked me what her name was, and I said her name is Layla. And if you don't know, there's a song called Layla that came out years ago. And while I'm worried about if my baby is alive or not, he is singing the song while delivering my placenta. If I wasn't on epidural, I would have kicked that man in the face. Because read the room. After a few minutes, she starts to cry. And that's all I wanted. Whew, not trying to cry right now because I just did all this work. I look crazy. So then I finally get to hold my baby in my arms, and we're both tearing up at this point because we had one of the biggest scares of our lives, okay? But also, while looking at that beautiful face, I realized she looked nothing like me. I'm gonna carry you for 9 months, and I'm cool. She was born 7.3 pounds on June 15th. And I was pushing her for 1 hour. And fun fact, I was the only mother to deliver vaginally. Everybody else was C-sections. I was in a hospital for about 3 days after that. Ooh, say something. Say something. Let me finish this makeup look and I'll be right back. This is the finished makeup look, you guys. How do you like it? I really think that this look came out really nice. Everything that I use in this video will be in the description box below. And if you enjoyed yourself, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. And everyone who's watching, I want y'all to do me one favor. Please comment below 3 random colors. It can be any colors that you choose, and I will pick one of your comments and use them in a future video, okay? And if you enjoy mom or beauty content, don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you know when I'm back with another video. Bye, you guys.